good morning and welcome to another Monday morning art talk. So just before we get started today, I wanted to just invite you, if you're going to be coming to the CTN Expo. I had last year, I had a huge party there the night before in celebration of it, drawing, drinking. We're gonna have a live band. You can get all the information through my calendar of events and RSVP at silverdrawingacademy.com. That way you'll just see what's going on there. And also just to remind you, if you're interested, my next semester starts October 19th. And if you sign up before October 1st, you'll get $100 off. Okay, so today's art talk is, I want to just talk about a frustration, a process we go through within yourself in drawing. If you ever have that feeling of not wanting to draw, do you go through that? Do you go through that feeling where you're just feeling uninspired and you just don't know what to draw, you don't know what you want to do, you're just unmotivated within the whole situation and the process of it, because it's scary sometimes, just starting to think about the future, where you're going to end up. Am I starting too early? Am I starting too late? I just want to say that, you know what? It's okay. It's okay that you're experiencing this level of feeling that you're going through, of just feeling uninspired and not wanting to draw. It comes in many different ways. It comes from just lack of sleep. It comes from having too much on your plate, too many things that are spinning in your head, thinking about. It comes from, again, looking at other people's artwork, maybe spending too much time on Facebook and Flickr and Tumblr, and being too involved in other people's lives as opposed to really focusing on your own. Whatever the situation may be where you're just feeling uninspired, there's a reason for it. And I just really want to say more than anything that it's okay, because you're not a machine, okay? But part of it is, yeah, do you want to just keep improving? I encourage people all the time, hey, even spend 10 minutes a day, 25 minutes a day practicing drawing. And beyond that, it's not even if you're physically drawing, maybe you're just observing, just even take notice of something. Maybe you see someone walking in a strange way. Maybe you just observe someone standing or eating in an unusual way, something that you haven't seen before. It's paying attention to that, which can help you. Maybe you don't have so much of an interest in people, and it's more about, you know, just buildings and cars and props and things like that. Well, maybe that's what you're going to focus on and pay attention to, if you can. But I think it's important to sometimes let your body relax and slow down, because if you're going 100 miles an hour all the time, I just think you're gonna get stressed and wear yourself out, and it's, in all honesty, not the best way to live, and maybe the most not fulfilling. Maybe you think it is, maybe you think it's always the race, and you're sort of almost creating this race within your mind, your race within yourself, to a race to where? What's the end all be all goal? The end all be all goal is really, you want self-improvement. You want to get better at what you do. Through getting better at what you do, other people will start to notice what you do, and things can evolve from there. But what's the price you're willing to pay? And the reason I say this a lot is, I sometimes don't even realize myself how much pressure that I give myself, and so it's coming from a real place of, I know that I want to keep improving. I'm constantly trying to do that, and that's part of it is through my teaching process. I love that, because I'm constantly going over the basics to where I feel fulfilled sometimes when I don't have to, when I'm not sort of learning something else just by helping someone else. I'm feel that I'm learning. But my body can get stressed with inside, and just yesterday this happened where my chest just got so tight all of a sudden. And I'm not one on the outside to show my frustration. I don't scream, I don't yell, I don't do all these sort of things, and you know, I got a lot of things that I'm working on, I'm doing, and I try to really balance my world, and I've set my days aside. I know what is required of me on each of those days. And sometimes I feel bad. I get maybe more guilt a lot of the times, because when I'm turning jobs down, all of a sudden it's like, turning jobs down, what are you doing? And the reality is, I just don't want to, I'm trying to slow it down. I don't want to be on that fast pace all the time. So I'll be more selective, and I'll pick and choose. And we're not all going to be in that situation. You say, hey, I wish I was in that situation where I could turn jobs down and had things coming left and right. And you know, and you will be at that point. That, not to say that it can't happen for you, but again, you got to build up your skill level, put yourself out there. But the stress level, it just kind of got to me, and I just realized that, you know what, I feel like I'm slowing down, but then I go, am I? But there's a lot of things that I have going on in my head. So now it's those whispers for yourself. You got to start pulling things back even more. So I realized I got to pull back even more, because I'm not at a place where I'm trying to prove myself to anyone. And I feel like I've never really done that. I've never had that thing that I want to be famous. I want people to know who I am. I just took steps that put myself out there, that got myself into a situation and places where things happened at certain times. And some, again, I've repeated this before, some more than others. But I feel too, I got to many ways. You can't keep forcing yourself to keep going all the time, just because it's not healthy. And if you find yourself, do you find yourself getting sick more often than not? Do you find yourself just maybe even having pains within your hands, within your neck, within your back? Are you experiencing that a lot? Maybe these are all little whispers, and more than anything, I just want you to be aware of the little whispers that, you know what, it's okay. It's okay not to be going 100 miles an hour all the time. Unfortunately, sometimes you may be on productions where you're thrown into that and you're forced to do that, and this is what's expected of you. And if you're not keeping up, then, well, then you're looked at as someone who's being flaky. You know, I hope that you're not in a position or a job like that. I've realized that people, we have expectations. We think people need stuff faster, and they do too, and in ways and like this more than they actually do. And I realized, you know what, people can wait. And if those people wait and they just take their time too, they're going to be healthier at the end of the day. So it's important balance. I've gone through it so many times where it becomes this urgency of, we need it by Friday. You know, it's just like, okay, I got to get it by Friday, got to get it done by Friday. And realize, you know, most of these people, they're going home on Fridays. You know, thanks, we'll get back to you next week on Monday, Tuesday. Oh, so I just busted my ass trying to meet your deadlines, but you guys aren't even hanging around, and you guys aren't giving me the feedback that I need straight away, and you're taking your sweet old time. So why am I pressuring myself and rushing so much? And I think just by slowing it down, you end up doing a better job for yourself anyway. So again, just it comes down, I discussed last week, just the week before, the intentions, like what is it that you're really trying to do and achieve. But try not to press yourself so much that if you're not feeling that inspired on that any given day, just sometimes chillax, just relax, just watch the shows you want to watch, just do something else, just step away. And if you can, just try to find that within yourself and not beat up on yourself and feel like you're getting behind. I'm not telling you just work on yourself once a week. I'm not saying that, because that's not going to happen. I feel you just got to keep putting in that effort, because your effort determines your eventual outcome and wherever you are in this industry. And also just don't feel that there's any shortcuts in this either, okay? Just because you're not working all the time on something doesn't mean you're trying to find the shortcuts. But don't feel that by having a minimum aspect of skill, that's going to be just good enough to get yourself in the door somewhere. It's not. It's like you got to keep for yourself developing your own exercises and your own routine, and more than anything, just a habit. You just got to get in the habit of just making these changes for yourself. Schedule that time. Maybe that might be the habit that you need to form for yourself. Maybe you just need to say that from the time I wake up, have my breakfast, do what I have to do, I'm going to set aside from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. and that's my time. And by doing it over and over again, you start to form that new habit. Or maybe it be in the evening time. It may be something. But you can never you can never have a bad practice as long as you're doing something that is, effective when it comes down, I think, more practicing your forms or your construction more than anything else. It's practicing just drawing and, okay, well, I'm practicing, I'm drawing another superhero, or I'm detailing another drawing here, and I'm flushing it out. That's my practice. That's not practice, okay? The practice is just trying to develop certain routines, is just breaking down shapes. I'm a firm believer that, everything on this planet is shape-based, and if you start to just practice your shapes, if you just start to practice your construction, that's the real practice, and that's the heart of what is missing to me in the majority of people's portfolios that I look at and come across, is that they just don't understand constructing and putting together just basic shapes. And by learning that, that's the practice that you need to get yourself in the rhythm of. Just focus on, again, don't do it to the point where you're just getting bored, but do it the minimum amount where you're just learning and benefiting from that. So that's really important. Okay, so that's today's Art Talk. Thanks again for watching. Again, you can go to silverdrawingacademy.com, go to the events. You'll see I have an RSVP just for the party coming up. It's going to be big. It's going to be awesome. You get to meet a bunch of industry professionals there. Before you meet them, you don't need a ticket or anything to come in. You just need a RSVP. Let me know you're going to be there, and you can come and enjoy the fun and bring your portfolio, show people, do stuff right there, because that's what networking's all about. And I just wanted to mention networking, throwing that in there, is I feel people get a misinterpretation of what networking really is. Networking is not just showing up at an event that's a networking event and just saying, hey, I went to a networking event. When you go to these conventions, when you go to places, when you go to social things, the important thing for you to do, and this, you got to build up self-confidence as an artist, you need to network. You need to have business cards. You need to have any just sort of flyer that you have, but you need to talk to people. You need to ask them questions. Even don't be shy. Just go up to someone and introduce yourself and ask them, hi, my name's, such and such. I do this. What sort of work do you do? Don't be afraid of people. No one's going to bite you. No one's going to attack you. But that's what networking is. Not just showing up in an event that claims to be a networking event and you're not networking. You have to network. That's up to you. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to hold your hand and introduce you to everyone. Maybe you're lucky. You'll get some people who will, hey, I want to introduce you to such and such. That's great. But try to build questions within your mind, and maybe even practice those and rehearse those. What are the questions you want to ask? You don't just want to stand there and freeze and say nothing. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're there and you just have that list of questions. Maybe just, well, how did you get started? Well, what are things that you did that you found to be the most practical to help you get there? You can go on and on. Try to forge those questions, and in all honesty, be interested in other people. It's not about just you don't need to tell you. Your goal is to find out and learn from other people. So you want to ask the questions and get as much out of that person as possible. Don't sit there and talk about what you're doing all the time, because I've met many people who they'll never ask a question. They do nothing but talk about themselves, and yet they want help in something, but they don't ask questions, and it's just all about them. And they already know about them. You already know about you. Your goal in life is to learn about other people. This is personally why I think watching biography channel, reading books on, just philosophers or different business people that have done things is very important to help you grow in your career. Okay, so these are just little tad bits of advice. But anyway, that's it. Rambled on here. Thanks for watching. And again, every Monday, this is where we're at. Please share this, help spread the word, like it, do whatever you like, dislike it, I don't know. But that's it. Have fun and make it a great week. Take care.
there you go.
It's a big giant lug. And he, like, don't bite, dude. What are you doing? Don't bite. If you're gonna be on here, just don't bite nothing. Ow! No. Don't. Danger. Ah. Once in a blue moon, you can see.
Look at his tail.
Oh. Yucky one. Okay. Oh.
Okay.